I developed an eating disorder when I was about 16 years old, and it became full-blown anorexia when I was 16 and a half or so, and that came as a result of a few people speaking into my life. And the first would be a really close family member who I used to attend university lectures with. I was a very good 4-year-old child, and I was allowed to go and sit with her instead of going to preschool, which I hated preschool. I would cry and cry and cry. And this particular day, this person didn't want me to go to her lecture. And so I had to stay with my grandmother, and I really didn't want to. I felt very homesick with my grandmother. But this person said to me, if you don't cry, I'll buy you a surprise. And I cried because I really didn't want to stay there. And I'm a crybaby. So I got home, and the gift was given to me, and I was very, very excited about the gift. And my dad walked in the door after work had finished, and I grabbed his hand and said, you've got to come and look at my gift that I got. And as I was walking out the door, the family member said to me, you really don't deserve that gift. And I was mortified, and it stuck with me forever. And then years later, my parents divorced. And then when I was at high school, I had a boy that I had a crush on, and he was kind of everything in my world at the time. And he would come up to me and he would pinch my cheeks and he would pinch my arms and he'd poke me in the stomach and say, ooh, look at all that fat. And that ruined me. And it was from there that I decided that it was better to drop some weight. And so I dropped more weight and dropped more weight and developed anorexia. About the same space of time, I went to Australia and happened to bump into a photographer who decided that he would offer to take free photos of me. And while I was having the photographs taken, he decided that he abused me. But I didn't have a voice, I'd lost my voice. And then after that, there was a school teacher who has now actually been put into jail for other abusive situations that he put girls into, but because I was already broken and already a victim and had already lost my voice, he took advantage of that as well. And then there were issues in workplaces with other men who decided that they saw a victim, and I had no voice. And then I met my amazing husband, and I was allowed to have a voice, and I was allowed to share the hurt and share the fear of being in a relationship with somebody. And he taught me how to be in a relationship, and he taught me how to be in a marriage. I am very blessed to have him. When my children came along, I grew up with them a little bit, and as they grew older and I could see the impact of peers and media and just life in general attacking them, it was probably at the moment of them being around 10 or 11 that I decided that I needed to not repeat the cycle, and that they needed to learn to have a voice, to be strong within themselves, to have courage and to not be afraid. So I have been so mindful of being that parent that has the conversations that are hard, especially with my daughter, in terms of being careful with putting herself in dangerous situations, or being mindful of the friends that she has around her and what they are speaking into her life. And then I've watched in awe with my son, who has stood up and faced his peers with a courage and strength that blows my mind. And I can see that words are such an integral part of our lives, and they can bring ruin or they can bring life. This is Kelley Tams, and this is my story.